Now, every chosen one has got a story. Every chosen individual has got a story. And it is not a very nice story, okay? It's not a very good story. So, what happens is that somewhere along your journey, you use that story to propel you and to be a part of your growth. And at the same time, you are using that story also to inspire other people. If you're a chosen one who is still copying content, this one's very powerful actually. Listen to this. If you're a chosen one and you're copying content, you just go on other channels to copy people's content and you produce this content as your own, you are a fake chosen one. If you call yourself a chosen one and you go to other channels to copy and paste people's content, you are a fake chosen one. Actually, you are a monitoring spirit. You are a monitoring spirit. If it has happened once, maybe it was a coincidence, or maybe you landed into a video, it resonated, so maybe you try to match it to your own story, which was also your own story. You watched a video, and that video also, there was content that was also similar to your own story. Then you did a video on that. That is different. But if you go to a channel and copy and paste other people's content, you are a fake chosen one. You're a bot. In other words, you are a monitoring spirit. So you don't have a story of your own. You may have your own story. Maybe you're a narcissist and you've got your own story, but that story is too messed up to share with the world. So you go and copy other people's stories. You're a fake. You're a bot. So you don't have your own signature. You don't have any content actually. You're an energy vampire. You leech off of other people's works. Okay? It's like going somewhere and you go to a certain country and you see them, they have also done a car, and they have also called that car a Tesla. We all know who is the owner of Tesla. So now you go somewhere and you see these people, they have also named their car Teslas. Same body, same this, same whatever. So that copy and paste is BS. Don't waste your time. Now, why am I doing this video? For most of you guys who are going to be into content creation, I would like to teach you how to make content. Okay? If you're a person who is going to maybe make content, you want to get into content creation, let me teach you how to do content. You see me, I don't have anything in my hands. I don't have a script. So there's a time I called this channel Denzomo's Unscripted. But one day when I was on internet and I saw another channel, there was a channel called something Unscripted. So I said, no, I don't want to use this because it's already being used somewhere else. So I decided to focus on bringing empaths free. Now I don't have a script. And I'm going to show you how to make content. Why have I given you an example when I was starting this video? I've told you that every chosen one has got a story. And it is a real, genuine, authentic story. It is not fake. It is not copied from somewhere else. It was a real life experience. So when I was growing up, I was a kid. So in our living room there was a picture on the wall. Can I call it a picture? Can I call it a painting? I don't know what it was. Some of those decorations, when you have those things you buy on the street and you come and you place them on the wall in your living room like decoration. So on that painting there was a word written, "We are born crying, We live complaining and we die unsatisfied. Now, you're young. It doesn't make a lot of sense. I'm okay. You're growing up. You don't even know what those things mean. As you start going to school, you start to translate what it means. So we are born crying, we live complaining, and we die unsatisfied. I don't know who wrote that, but it was something that was placed on the wall in our living room. So as a kid, I'm there thinking that. So me, I'm very critical. I see things and I will take my time I'll focus on it and I'll pay attention and I will try to analyze what is going on. So there I am thinking that, so what does this whole thing mean? Does that mean that that's what life is all about? Yes, I know we are born crying. Every kid will cry at some point. They will be crying in hospital. But in the back of my mind, I'm thinking that, so what next? Is it like that we shall be living our life complaining and die unsatisfied? What is going on? So you guys see, now that painting, it was put there by my parents. To be specific, the narcissistic parent. Are you guys seeing where the programming starts? Where this whole programming and why we really need to take care of our minds, pay attention and take care of our mental health. So that was in the 80s, I think. So as the time goes on, I'm starting to process that message. Me, I will see something and I'll take my time to process. It could take me years, but I'll figure it out. One way or the other, I'm going to figure it out. Now, you see, our lives, we have been programmed to believe certain things. I could almost say probably 80 to 90% of our belief systems, they came from somewhere. The things we have been born conditioned to believe, they came from somewhere. It was a book written by so and so. 1 million people read that book, and all of them are following that same programming that is in the book. It was a subject we learned in school. It was a faith-based programming. Let's say, for example, you could have been born in a family, they were occultists. And they have practiced occultism for so many years. Okay? There are so many types of occultism. You guys know. The cults. Actually, even the narcissistic family is also a cult. But these ones are very practical in what they do. They always meet for these meetings. They sacrifice whatever kids or whatever. They sacrifice different things. So they're occultists. Now you're born in a family of occultists. I want you to tell me. I want you to convince me. The chances for you growing up to become an occultist, they are 99%. Because that's all you know. When you was growing up, that's what you saw your parents doing. They would do these rituals at home. They would do this and they would do that. I'm talking about different things. I'm just giving an example of cults. It can be religious cult. It can be spiritual cult. It can be different things. Your parents, they have had their own belief system. It worked for them. They thought it worked for them. As a matter of fact, when I was growing up, I used to hear things like, a man can marry how many women they want as long as they can take care of them. That was the belief system at the time. That's what I used to hear. And I'm growing up now and I'm realizing that no, I'm not going to marry whichever women I want to marry because I can look after them. I'm going to marry a woman and I can give her 100% undivided attention. So you see, generational cycle breakers will rewrite the rules. Are you following? Those things that we have been made to believe by our parents, by school, by society, by different organizations where we've lived all our lives, there is things we have been forced and made to believe. It was a program that was imprinted in our minds. Now, the writing on the wall, I've just told you, at the time, back in the days, I don't know, it could have been in the 80s, when the parent was buying these things, they didn't know. They was like, oh, this looks like reality. That was their reality at the time. Oh, it's true that people are born crying. Then they live complaining. Then they die unsatisfied. That kind of stuff. It was their mindset. Because you would not buy, at this current moment in time, you do not tell me that I will go to a shop and I'm going to buy something like that with those kind of words and I'm going to put it in my living room for everybody to see. So I'm going to be careful and selective of the things I'm going to be placing in my house. Are you guys following? So this video is for the cycle breakers. You guys need to understand how to break cycles. These cycles that have continued to torment and destroy generations, they are a repetition of the things that so many people have been battling with for so many years ago. We can talk about hundreds and hundreds. It's just been a repeated cycle. So, for example, if I did not awaken to figure out what was going on, it could have been continued as a belief system. I will continue to believe that, yes, that is what life it is. People are supposed to be suffering. You're born crying. People are supposed to be suffering, and then they're supposed to die unsatisfied. That kind of BS, I did not participate. I refused to follow along. So, the things we're dealing with, the problems, the issues, the difficulties, the challenges we have been dealing with for generations, those things have played a very big role in the lives of our ancestors. So the people that have lived before us, there was things they used to believe. They used to carry on, pass on particular occultic practices, particular religious beliefs, spiritual beliefs. They used to pass these things on to the kids. Now, these kids grow up all their lives living with that same belief system. Are you guys following? Until one day, one kid wakes up and they start to realize there's a problem in the family. Are you following my generational curse breakers? You know, I'm teaching how to break cycles. For the copycats, I'm teaching how to make videos, to produce a video out of nothing. For the generational cycle breakers, I'm actually teaching you how you break cycles. Now, because you're an adult and you're realizing that you've been following a cycle, there's something that has been happening in your life, you don't understand what it is. Why is people hostile towards you? Why are you not getting married? Why is it that every man that gets to, tries to get married to you, they're going to abandon you off and run off to somebody else? Or you could get married for 2 months, you come back home. Why is it that when you set up a business, it has failed? Why are you this and why are you that? You are now starting to figure out there's a problem. Why are you realizing that there are certain family members that are starting to drop dead at a certain age? Or maybe, why is a certain illness very deeply imprinted within the family system? Why does everybody else happen to suffer from sickle cells? Or why does everybody else happen to suffer from HIV? Why is exactly these things happening? You're starting to see what is going on, and you're realizing there's a problem. So what you do now, you start looking for answers. You will try with your parents first because, they're your parents. Eventually, you're like, okay, so dad, explain to me. So why is this? And why is this? Now, your parents are going to become very angry with you. Now they're saying, why is this kid asking us these things? So they feel like you're trying to break away from the cycle. They're starting to register in their minds. You're trying to break a cycle. So they're like, go back and sit down. What is wrong with you? Why are you asking all those things? It doesn't concern you. All these things, they're going to tell you back to go and sit down somewhere and shut your mouth. Okay, you'll do it the first time, second time, you will still feel there's something wrong. You're going to go again. Dad, please explain. Mom, what is happening this? Sometimes you will talk to your brothers and sisters. I saw mom quarreling with dad. Dad was quarreling with mom. They are fighting. What is happening? Why are they quarreling? Don't they love each other? What is happening? You're starting to see there's a problem. Even if you don't know that it could be abuse, you know. I personally saw narcissistic abuse when I was a kid. I didn't know the name for it, but I saw that there was something in the family. There was something. There was a pattern. I was starting to recognize a pattern. So the life goes on. You don't get the answers. What you do now, you spread out a little bit further to get your own truth. You are going to go out there to seek for your own truth, and you will do whatever it takes, whatever necessary to find that truth. So you become a truth seeker. So a cycle breaker has once been the seer, the one that saw it, and then they became the truth seeker, and lastly, they will become the truth teller. So you've already seen it. You now start to seek the truth. What is going on? You're asking people, maybe outside of your family. Maybe you watch some things on TV. You're adding up the dots. You're putting the pieces together. Whatever, you know, little by little, bit by bit, you're starting to add the puzzle. And then as you start getting closer to the reality, to the real truth, something happens and you snap. Then you wake up. So the moment you wake up, you're like, okay, now I get it. You know, I finally get it. I know what it is. I see what it is. I figure. I finally. Even all of a sudden you finally figured it out. You know what it is. You're like, okay, now this is the truth. So what are you going to do with this truth? So what you do now, you first try to run around to different family members. Listen, guys, do you know that? Do you remember that time when so and so passed away? Do you know that it's possible that this was this? Do you know that when this and this happened? Do you know these sicknesses that have been eating up different family members? Do you know why everybody has been suffering from leprosy? Do you know why this one has been suffering from epilepsy? Do you know why people dying of cancer in the family? Do you know why? Do you remember that auntie, the one who died of cancer? Do you know that the same thing happened to so and so? You are now starting to add up the pieces. Everything fits. You now realize this was a cycle. You say, okay, now you get it. And in the beginning, when you talk to people, family members, they're going to be like, what is wrong with you? Go back and sit down. You Denzomos, I know you think too much and you overfigure things out, and go back and sit down. There's no problem. I don't know what is wrong with you. Take a seat, calm down. Sit your ass down. So the people don't believe you. I say, okay, you don't believe me. What do? You walk away. So you're like, okay, since nobody believes you, you're going to walk away. So you leave the unit because people are thinking you're crazy. Everybody tries to think, oh, you're destabilizing the family. You're trying to, I don't know what is wrong with you. Sit down and shut up. Don't you see that all of us, we are following along and this and this? Everybody thinks you're crazy. Nobody wants to believe you. But you know what the truth is, so you walk away. So when you walk away, in your mind, you know that truth has been registered very deeply in your subconscious. You know what it is. So what you do now, you say, okay, what I'm going to do, I'm going to do it the other way around. You're grown up, you have kids now. You're like me, I'm going to break that conditioning. I do not accept that conditioning to follow. You have already seen what has been eating up family members for generations, for years. You have refused. You are saying this thing is going to end with me. It is not going to repeat. I will not see it happen I will never see it manifest in my own children. What do you do now? You start to break everything by telling those kids what they need to hear. Okay? Your father was abusive. Your mother was abusive. Every time they are beating you, they are shouting and they are screaming, whatever. What you do now, you say, no. Me, I'm not going to do the same thing for my kids. What I'm going to do, I'm going to love my children unconditionally. Are you following? Psycho Breakers. Share the video. My videos are like that, That's how my videos are. The ones who get it, they get it. The ones who fight with it, the ones who hate them, they will hate them. It's the truth. So, you're like, okay, what I'm going to do, I'm going to tell my children the opposite of what my father told me. Because I don't want that thing to repeat. You have seen it. Other family members have not yet seen it. They don't believe you, but you have seen it. So you're like, you are not going to repeat that in your family. You're going to break it. So that's how you start breaking cycles. First of all, you remove yourself. And then you start to teach a different programming in your children. Because when you do that, you're now paving the way for these children not having to deal with that same cycle that you saw happening in your family. So all the ones that are going to come afterwards, you're the one that is going to set the trend. So you're a trend setter. You set the trend. This is how we shall be going, okay? Listen, guys, let's do this, let's do that. Take some time, do this and do that. You're not teaching them. Because you've been learning so many things. You're not teaching them. Yeah, it's okay. Maybe they will follow you. They will listen. Some of them maybe not or whatever. But the cycle is going to break with you. Because you see, let me tell you something about generational cycles. The moment you take the initiative to break generational cycles, these cycles don't want to be broken. It is why the black sheep of the family, you face a lot of resistance. Every moment you try to break these things, you're trying to break the rules and the whatever, you're refusing to participate in the BS, is why you always become the problem, because you are making people uncomfortable. They are too used and too accustomed to certain things, and they want it to stay that way. You do wake up, you say no, it will not happen, and it will not continue. The generational cycle breakers, they will get it. Okay? The ones who get it, they will get it. My videos are not for everyone. So, there is things that we've been suffering for, or let's say there is patterns we've been following that have been a result of conditioning that has been passed down onto our ancestors. So we may start going back, let's say, for example, 500 years ago, 1,000 years ago. A lot of us, we cannot go so farther down the road, but some of us have a chance to figure out who our ancestors was. They go to the records and whatever, but still you cannot go so far away. The farthest you can go is maybe you can go back to your parents and then the grandparents, and I think that's pretty much it. Some of you guys have not even seen your great grandparents. So it's been generations passing on and new ones being born, passing on. So you haven't been able to go further down the road. But now you're starting to figure out that, oh, okay, I remember now, our father told us their father had a problem with epilepsy. Father said that so and so died with HIV. You've now figured out there was something that was continuing to happen. So the programming that we've been dealing with, so I'm talking about this. I'm talking about generational cycles. So they have been manifesting in different forms: illnesses, setbacks, struggles. Your parents could have been struggling, food to hand to mouth. They used to work in the mines. They used to come back with a loaf of bread. That's what you used to eat in the dinner. That's what their mind used to give them at the time. It was their programming at the time. So because they have gotten too used and accustomed to suffering, they have passed down that suffering onto their children. Are you guys following? They have passed down that suffering, a programming that has been very deeply embedded in their brain, onto their children. Now their children are playing a part are playing a role in those things that have also happened to the ancestors. And then you know what? One day, at divine timing, one particular child is born in that unit. One particular child is born, the one that is going to see everything, and the one that is going to stop, and they are going to refuse to pass those cycles on to the future generations to come. That is how generational cycles are broken. Are we together, my chosen ones? Share my videos, please. Share my videos, okay? If you see these videos like this, okay, share the videos. Let people get this content. Some people out there are struggling and they don't know what is happening. They need help. Help them to get the content. Share the videos. So it reaches out to so many people so that they can get some more clarity of what is really happening. The world is in chaos, ladies and gentlemen. Many people are suffering. You see people suffering. Many of them don't even know why they are suffering. A lot of them, they're like, what is going on? Why is happening? Why can't I this and why can't I that? They don't know what is happening. They are dealing with generational cycles. So why have I called this video The Writing on the Wall? The writing on the wall represents something that our parents have registered in their brains and the reality that they have made their own. So it has been a very deep subconscious programming. For example, every day you come in the house, like for example, and I'll be seeing that picture. We are born crying, and this. I'll continue to see that tomorrow, the other day, and eventually that picture is going to become my reality. So that's how we are programmed to fail. You know, you don't really think that the reason why many people you see them struggling with life, nothing is happening. They are moving from hand to mouth, one job after the other one. They can't even feed themselves. Is programming is what is killing them. Some people even sicknesses. These things you see sicknesses is programming. Everything is programming. So anybody that follows up with that particular DNA, they become a part of that programming. They're also going to suffer with that programming, that same programming. It's how it works, this thing. So generational cycles stop with you, my chosen ones. Let us know what you think about the video. You guys know I do love and appreciate your support. Please book a session. You may donate or support my channel if you want to. Everything you need, you will find it in the description below. And until then, I will catch you guys in my next one. Denzel Mos signing out. Much love and blessings. Peace.